All right, let's dive into one of the most important technologies to come out in the last decade, Ethereum. And hey, if you think it's just another crypto coin, you're going to want to stick around. We're about to find out why people are calling it a world computer. Let's get right into it. So, you've definitely heard of Bitcoin, right? The original digital gold. It totally changed the game for what we think of as money. But then Ethereum comes along and asks a totally different and maybe, just maybe, a much bigger question. It's not just about creating digital cash, it's about what you can actually build with it. And this right here, this is the crucial difference. See, Bitcoin was built to be one thing, digital cash, a way to send money from one person to another. Simple, brilliant. But Ethereum's goal was way broader. It was designed to be a decentralized world computer. The best way to think about it is like this. Bitcoin is a calculator. It does one job, and it does it perfectly. Ethereum, well, Ethereum is like a smartphone. It's a platform where literally anyone on the planet can build and run their own apps. Now, I know that term world computer sounds pretty sci-fi, a little abstract. So let's actually break down what that means and why it's such a revolutionary idea. Okay, at its absolute core, Ethereum is a platform for apps. But the magic words here are decentralized and no central authority. This means it's not controlled by a big tech company or a bank or any government. It's a completely open global network that's built and kept running by its own users. It's a network that belongs to everybody. So how does this world computer actually work? Well, the secret ingredient, the real magic trick behind Ethereum, is something called a smart contract. And this is the idea that changes everything. So what the heck is a smart contract? Just think of a regular contract, right? But instead of being written in legal jargon on a piece of paper, the terms are written in computer code. And instead of being enforced by lawyers, it's enforced by the network itself. It's all based on simple, if this happens, then that happens logic. And the best part? Once a smart contract is on the blockchain, it's transparent, it's permanent, and it will run exactly as programmed. No middlemen, no exceptions. It just works. Let's make this real with an example. Imagine you want to call a taxi, but instead of using an app that takes a huge cut from the driver, you could use a smart contract. Step 1, you send the payment directly to the contract's address. Step 2, the code automatically checks that the payment is correct. That's the if. Step 3, once it's verified, the service is unlocked. That's the then. It's a direct deal, no company in the middle, just you and some self-executing code. So once you have these programmable, automated little agreements, you can start to build some truly incredible things. And we're not just talking about little apps here and there, we're talking about the building blocks for a whole new kind of internet. And I mean, the possibilities here are just wild. You can build a brand new financial system from the ground up. They call it DeFi. You can create true, provable digital ownership for things like art and collectibles, those as NFTs. You can build games where you actually own your items, or social media apps that don't spy on you. You can even create entirely new kinds of online organizations called DAOs that are run by their members. The list just goes on. Let's just zoom in on that DeFi thing for a second, decentralized finance. Imagine being able to borrow money or lend it out or earn interest on your savings without ever having to ask a bank for permission. It's a global financial system that's open 24/7 to anyone with an internet connection, all running on these little smart contracts we've been talking about. And then, of course, you've got NFTs. Now, they got famous for digital art, but the technology underneath is so much bigger than that. An NFT is basically just a unique, unfakeable digital certificate of ownership for anything. It could be art, it could be a concert ticket, it could even be the deed to a house. And that record of who owns what is secured on the blockchain for the whole world to see. Okay, so we've covered what Ethereum is and all the cool stuff you can build with it. But what's actually powering this whole thing? What keeps this global computer running and secure? The whole network runs on its native cryptocurrency, which is called Ether, or just ETH for short. And the best way to think about Ether is as the fuel or the gas for this world computer. Every single time you use an app or make a transaction on Ethereum, it costs a tiny little bit of ETH. That fee goes to the people all around the world who are running the computers that keep the network secure and process all those operations. And just to be clear, this is not some small-time experiment. To give you a sense of the scale here, this number, over $152 billion, that's the amount of value that's currently locked up and being used in all those DeFi applications on Ethereum. That is more than the entire economy of many countries. It's a massive digital economy, humming along 24/7. The network activity is just staggering. This is the number of transactions that were processed in just the last 24 hours. That works out to over 150 transactions firing off every single second, each one getting verified and executed by this giant decentralized computer. Now, a huge criticism of early blockchains was their energy use, and rightly so. It was massive. But Ethereum tackled this issue head-on with a historic upgrade called the merge. Back in 2022, it completely changed how it secures the network. It moved away from an energy-intensive process called proof of work to a brand new system called proof of stake, which is way, way more efficient. And the result of the merge was just incredible. It cut Ethereum's energy consumption by over 99%. It's hard to even wrap your head around that. The network went from using the same amount of power as a whole country like Finland to using the same amount as a small office building. It was a complete game changer that made the tech green while actually making it even more secure. But the journey is nowhere near finished. Ethereum has a whole roadmap planned out for the future, and it's all focused on tackling its biggest challenges to really fulfill that vision of being the foundation for a new decentralized internet. Now, we have to be honest, one of the biggest challenges for Ethereum today is speed, or what they call scalability. As you can see right now, it handles about 15 transactions a second, which is tiny compared to a huge centralized system like Visa. But, and this is a big but, the future upgrades are designed to take that number to over 100,000 transactions per second. If they pull that off, it won't just be on par with the systems we use today, it'll blow them out of the water. So, when you put it all together, what is Ethereum? It's really so much more than a technology. It's a blueprint. It's a potential foundation for a digital world that's more open, more transparent, and where we, the users, actually have control. The tools are all here. So the only real question left is, what are we all going to build with it? Thanks for watching.